Hi, I'm Kim Cash.
And I'm Patina.
And we're going to discuss a case together here today. And it's a kind of a true crime and a paranormal kind of creepy story. And Patina has a podcast that I'm going to let her tell you about it, but it's called Stranger Danger.
Hi everyone, so I am a co-host of a true crime podcast called Stranger Danger, which you can find on any platform that you listen to your podcast on. Stranger Danger focuses on true crime stories and spooky stories. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about true crime stories and a little bit of spooky stories. Kim found some stories for us to discuss today.
So the first thing I'm going to do is just read a little bit to you about it. This is something I found in it's an actual news report, and it said, the headline was, Sheriff Investigates Reported Ghost-like Sighting in California Mountain Range. And when I saw that, I was immediately interested in it because I love creepy things and creepy stories. And so I immediately opened it up and read it. And then I sent it to Fatina because she does ghost stories and paranormal stories and kind of creepy things. And I said, what if we do kind of a little collab and talk about this case together? So I just wanted you to know what the headline was, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit about it, and then we're going to discuss what we think about it. So this is a case where a sheriff's office was called, and it was a family that had gone out on a vacation, and they were out in a meadow area to have a picnic, and they have a 3-year-old son, and he kept saying, "Oh, Mom, we got to go help that woman." And I will post a link to the case or the report on the news down below in the informational section. But anyway, she said, there's no one over there, and these are just my words, it's not the exact words, I'm just paraphrasing. And he said, but she needs our help, Mom, she needs our help, but she's dead. And that got the mom's interest, and so she went over to see if she just had missed something, but she hadn't. And I'm going to let Patina tell you a little bit. Do you remember the case?
Sure. So you sent me the link to the video. In the video, you can tell the family, I believe it's a family of 3 or 4, they went out into a mountain range, and they stopped to have food while they were on the trail. And the little kid, who I think is like 3 or 4 years old, really, really young, he's sitting in the back seat, and then he just starts staring out into the meadow where there's nothing but a forest background. And what happens is that the kid starts telling the mom that he's talking to a woman that he sees laying down with her feet up in the air, and that she can't move and that she can't speak. So he's asking the mom how he can help the woman, and the mom turns around and says that she doesn't see anything. And then later on that day, the mom gets curious about what her son was seeing, and she Googles local missing persons. And she realizes that earlier in 2020, because this just happened in July of 2021, there had been a woman reported that she got missing in that exact same area. And what the kid was describing to the mom of what she was wearing, which was, he saw a woman laying down with a black t-shirt, blue jeans, and blue hair, which is very distinct. So what happened is that the mom found the very same description of a missing woman from a year earlier, and down to the blue hair.
That just gives me creeps.
Down to the blue hair. So this little kid, the mom is completely taken aback that the description was exactly what her little 3-year-old was describing. So they contacted the sheriff's department, because at this point, since they hadn't found the body of this woman, it could be that it's a possible actual sighting of her, but very likely it's not. She's been missing for a long time in this mountain range where there's people coming in and out of normally. So very likely that this kid experienced something paranormal in front of his family, and he was very calm about it. He didn't have any fear about what he was seeing and what he was experiencing, but the mom thought it was very rare that she witnessed her son doing this. So the sheriff contacted the family, and they went out together again to that trail to see, well, first of all, confirm where the sighting had been seen, and then to see if there was anything that could be found. And of course they found nothing.
And one of the other things that I noticed in the story was that he said that the woman was laying face down,
Mm-hmm.
which, you know, how many people lay face down in the ground, I mean, on the ground. And another thing I thought was really interesting is that he wasn't afraid, and he was talking to her. And how is he talking to her if she's face down? And he kept saying, she needs our help, she needs our help. And I just thought that was such an interesting story. That's why I had to send it to Fatina, and I wanted us to talk about it because also she went missing, I think it was August 6th was and that's coming right up.
2020,
Yeah, it's going to be like a year to almost to the day when she went missing. So I just thought that was a fascinating story that now she's been seen just a year after she went missing, and this whole case is still unsolved. But because they had such a very similar description to the woman that went missing, they had to investigate because, for one thing, you know, this 3-year-old kid, a very young child, should not know anything about this to be talking about it.
And they showed him pictures. The mom, after she Googled the case and found the case of this missing woman, showed her kid some pictures that they put up on the missing posters and whatnot. And the kid recognized 3 out of the 4 pictures that they had posted for this woman as the woman that he had just seen in the meadow.
So this is like, I think it's a paranormal story, and I think he saw a ghost, but you know, we'll have to wait and see what happens with it. But the first thing I thought of when I read the story was, and I watched a little news clip, was The Sixth Sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's like, that show was from, maybe you guys haven't seen it, or I don't know if you haven't heard of it, but it was from 1999, and it was M. Night Shyamalan.
Shyamalan, yep.
He wrote and directed it, and Bruce Willis was the main lead actor in the show. And there was I believe it was a 6-year-old little boy, and his name was Cole, and he saw dead people. In fact, that was the tagline.
Right.
I see dead people.
So, I mean, not only with that movie, but I think in general, I think with the cases that we've covered or just stories that I've heard throughout my life, it's very evident that children and maybe sometimes animals are more susceptible and sensitive to possible energies or spirits that might be still lingering in this world. So for a kid to not be scared of something that maybe as an adult I would definitely take a second look and look back and maybe be a little bit scared. It's really interesting to see that a kid doesn't have any fear to things like this. Just like the movie, the kid became accustomed to seeing these spirits and to almost helping them.
Well, he was trying to help him, and I think if I saw a woman laying in the meadow face down and I knew she was dead, because he said,
Right.
She's dead, but we need to help her. And you know, and they did go back, but they couldn't find anything when the sheriff went with them.
Right.
So I don't know, you know, how they're going to help her, but at least the son was able to tell somebody about it, and they were able to go look into it. Sorry, that's our dogs. We have a few dogs. Anyway, I think hopefully that gives at least the family of the missing woman, and her name was, I think it was Sandra Hughes.
The mom?
No, the woman that was missing.
Oh, the missing woman. Yes,
Yeah.
I believe so. So this was in the California, I believe it was in the Shut-Eye Mountain Range. So if you live in that area, you've probably heard of this case. But it's really fascinating how not only did he possibly witness a spirit or a ghost of someone who has been missing, but it blew my mind that he had the details down to the blue hair. That's very distinct.
Yeah,
A feature that's very recognizable. So.
And you know, usually people doubt stories like this, but when it's a child that couldn't have the information otherwise, because she went missing a year ago. Her name was Sandra Hughes, and she disappeared on June 26th, and the person they called, I believe, was in the Madera County Sheriff's Office. So if you guys are in that area in California, maybe you've heard about it, maybe you know more about it, and if you do, it would be interesting if you would post a comment down below, because we are very fascinated by this story. It's not a typical story.
No.
And, you know, you might doubt stories like this, but I think it lends a little credence to it when it's a child that couldn't have known this woman or have any interest in, celebrity kind of fame and whatever from just telling the story.
Right. No reason to lie.
Yeah,
So.
he just really wanted to help the woman.
Right.
So hopefully getting the story out there does help, because it is still an unsolved crime. And Fatina does do on her podcast, she does true crime stories. And do you do some that are unsolved or only solved?
We tend to stay with the solved cases just because we do like the cases that have closure. We also do like to discuss a little more in depth what happened in the judicial system, or what kind of resolution came of a case, or just to make sure that there's no cliffhangers. But we do cover, there is sometimes some infamous cases that have not been solved, and that is the allure of the case, the mystery behind it as to maybe what happened or who had done it. So sometimes we do cover unsolved cases, but we tend to stay more with the solved cases.
And so if you guys do know anything, I think that by sharing this story and spreading the word, maybe they will find out what happened to this woman. It's a sad story. It's an unsolved crime. But the thing I found really interesting was the paranormal aspect, because I just like creepy stories. And so that's what made me open up the link and read it. So I just wanted to share that with you and see what you guys think about it. And if you put comments down below, I'll share those with Fatina.
Yeah.
And maybe it will come to a podcast that she'll do if they actually solve it.
If you have any suggestions, or if you have your own experiences of either a child in your family or you as a child yourself, if you experienced anything creepy, anything paranormal, or anything that you just couldn't make sense of in this world, we'd love to hear it. You can comment on Kim's page and let her know the story that you had.
Or you can go to, they have a Stranger Danger. Don't you have an Instagram that they can also connect with you on? And
they can find us on any platform that you like to have your social media on. If you'd like to send us a direct email, you can email us. The email is astrangerdangerpodcast@gmail.com. So you can send us any creepy stories that you have, or if you're interested in hearing a case more in depth, please send us a suggestion and we'd be happy to cover it.
so I just wanted to say thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this, if you found it interesting, if you find it interesting, if you're fascinated by the paranormal, then please give me a thumbs up. And you can subscribe to my channel so that you'll be notified of future videos that I post. And I did want to say I have something big coming in October, so you might want to start following me for that. And I hope you guys enjoyed listening to us discuss it and comparing it to The Sixth Sense. Anyway, I just wanted to say thank you guys, and have a great rest of your summer.
Have a great rest of your summer.